A picture is worth 1,000 words. That's the reason we have more viewers than readers. We comprehend the picture just with our senses, whereas it takes an intellectual effort to comprehend the text. I could see good food as an analogy of a good movie. Good food appeals to us to eat with its smell and physical appearance. It tastes good and sometimes it tempts us. Is it all about it? No. Beyond the outer layer, we look for nutritive value, and any food without a nutritive value is just filler. Food that might even have a slow poison might taste good. Those aren't good food either. What about the food that doesn't taste good, yet has a nutritive value? Well, this is when it is honey coated to make it more appealing as the taste matters. The important question is, what kind of food are we being fed? Just like a good food, even a good movie not only is expected to give an engagement value, but it is expected to make the viewer undergo a catharsis either by a propaganda, representation, asking a question, and sometimes by documenting the events and leaving it to the audience discretion. I am a cinephile and I watch lots of movies, and it took some time to identify the good movies and cherish them, as I don't process a movie the same way I processed before 20 years. In this video, I am going to share my film watching journey towards a real life hero and the reason why I recall these movies that I watched during my early years. Watching a movie has always been an exciting experience. I recall watching a Tamil movie for the first time in theatre with my parents and brother when I was 6 years old. From then, I watched lots of movies, and watching the recent flick Methagu made me go back to a few impactful movies that I watched. Here are they. Nayagan is a Tamil movie directed by Mani Ratnam starring iconic Kamal Haasan and Janagaraj in pivotal roles. This movie was based on a real-life character, Varadarajan Mudaliyar, who was hugely popular among the poor Tamil residents in Dharavi slums in Mumbai. Varadarajan ran a parallel judicial system within the Tamil community in his strongholds. Nagin is considered as one of the all-time greatest movies of Indian cinema, which bagged 3 national awards. It was this movie that gave me the first-hand experience of seeing an on-screen hero close to reality who built an empire, and he had his reasons to choose the dangerous path. Even though Nayagan is a spectacular film, we don't get to glorify him, and we cannot derive any inspiration because of the path that Velu Nayakar chose. Satya is a Tamil movie directed by Suresh Krishna starring Kamal Haasan, Amla and Kitty in the pivotal roles. Even though this is a remake of the Hindi movie Arjun released in 1985, this movie was heavily influenced by the real-life story of Satya Subramaniam, the brother of the well-known author, poet, politician, makeup artist, comedian and philanthropist Nikram Subramaniam. Satya, an unemployed youth, takes out his anger against exploitation and injustice. However, he eventually becomes a henchman to a political leader. Here, Satya represents an erstwhile unemployed society that is misguided and exploited by the powerful section of society. Satya is a brilliant film as well, with terrific performances of Kamal Haasan, Amala, Rajesh and Kitty. Yet, with a little glorification, both Nayagan and Satya were more inclined to give a representative tone. Today's civilized society is meant to take a constructive path towards building a promising society and eventually a nation with integrity, and hence any undue glorification is considered unhealthy.
என்ன சுத்தி நடக்கிற அசிங்கம் அவமானம் எக்ஸ்ப்ளாய்டேஷன் இதெல்லாம் என்னால தாங்க முடியாது. I'm going to fight it and I want you to fight it.
When I was in 9th grade, I recall watching Kuruthipunal, a Tamil version of Kamal Haasan's Telugu movie Dhrovi, a movie that is a masterpiece. While I can keep raving about this movie for various reasons, I would like to recall the interrogation scene where Adi strikes a conversation with Badri and goes on to ridicule the ideology, and he deprecates the revolutionary as a mere thug.
பத்ரி, இப்ப நீதான் தலைவன் தெரிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் பேச்சுவார்த்தை ஆரம்பிக்கலாமே. சிஎம் கூட டைரக்டா பேசலாம், ஏற்பாடு செய்ய முடியும்.
உங்க பேச்சுவார்த்தையில எனக்கு நம்பிக்கை இல்லை. நான் போராளி.
அப்ப இங்கே சாக வேண்டியதான்.
நான் செத்தா விழுற விதையில 1000 பத்ரி முளைப்பாங்க.
அதெல்லாம் முளைக்க மாட்டாங்க. நீ செத்தா பயம்தான் முளைக்கும். நீ கனவு கண்டுகிட்டு இருக்கிற புரட்சி இயக்கம் இதெல்லாம் என்னைக்கோ நீத்து போச்சு. உனக்கு சித்தாந்தம் கத்துக் கொடுத்த பெரியவங்க எல்லாம் செத்து போயிட்டாங்க, பாதி பேர் ரிட்டையர் ஆயிட்டாங்க. இப்ப மிச்சம் இருக்கிறது ஒன்ன மாதிரி ஆளுங்க தான். பொறுக்கிக்கும் போராளிக்கும் கலப்பு திருமணம் செஞ்சதுல பிறந்த புள்ள நீ. உனக்கு அப்புறம் இருக்கிற சந்ததியை ஒத்துப்பார். சினிமா பார்த்து வளர்ந்த பலகீனமான கூட்டம் தான் தெரியும். அவங்கள அரசாங்கம் விலைக்கு வாங்கிடும், இல்ல மிதிச்சு நசுக்கிடும்.
I stood by and stand by Adi not only because it is played by my favorite actor Kamal Hassan, but because Adi is making an effort to protect civilians from terrorism and is determined to put an end to it. Anyone who watches this movie probably might take Adi's side as it is the righteous one. Naxalite Badri, that was brilliantly played by Nazar, is shown as a ruthless person who lacks ethics and human values. He doesn't show any guilt over the death of children. In all senses, as an audience, we are made to believe that if we don't need any civilian casualties, then we need to get rid of Naxalites. Cut to year 2015, I watched a movie called Porambokku Engira Puduvudamai, directed by Janardhan, starring Shyam and Arya in a pivotal role. Non-violence versus violence. This is an eternal debate, and here is a glimpse of movies that justifies both the sides. Sirichale is a movie directed by Priyadarshan that was released in 1996, starring Mohanlal in the lead role and Prabhu in the supporting role. Sirichale was originally conceived and shot in Malayalam, and the Malayalam version is Kalapani, which I eventually watched after many years. And my love towards this movie hasn't stopped, instead, it started growing. Sirichale is a compelling story of a Dr. Govardhan and his fellow prisoners suffering in Andaman jail during British colonial times. We witness brief events of atrocities that transformed Mukundan as a revolutionary and his mission to kill a British officer that fails. Here, we also get to see a conflict in ideologies of Govardhan and Mukundan as a bystander.
I believe in Marxism, revolution and class war. வேலை வெட்டி இல்லாத வக்கீலுங்க, ஊர்ல தெரியிற ஜமீன்தாருங்க தன்னோட சுயநலத்துக்காக ஆரம்பிச்ச கட்சி தானே இந்த காங்கிரஸ். ஃபேக்டரி ஆஃப் செடிஷன். ஸ்வராஜ்ல சேர்ந்த உனக்கு நான் பேசுறது தப்பாதான் படும்.
எங்க எதிர்ப்பு உங்களுடைய இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஹீரோயிஸ்டோடையும் ரெவல்யூஷனரி டெரரிஸ்டோடையும் தான். பாம்பு எரிஞ்சும் வெடி வச்சும் மக்களை கொல்ற கொடூரத்தோட தான்.
In the end, Govardhan, who was about to get released from jail, could not control and avenges his friend's custodial murder. Govardhan, what we see in the beginning of the movie, is completely changed towards the end of the movie.
எல்லாரும் நான் சொல்றத கேளுங்க. வெடிகுண்ட தயாரிச்சது நான் தான். சூப்பரிண்டெண்டன்ட் பாரிங்டனை கொலை செய்ய திட்டம் போட்டது நான் தான். அது மட்டும் இல்ல, பிரிட்டிஷ்க்கு அடிமையா இருக்கிற இன்னொரு நாயை இப்ப கொலை பண்ண போறேன்.
Aravindhan starts with an inspiring speech from a college graduate aspiring to be an IPS officer who insists that protests need to be staged for the noble cause in a non-violent way. At a certain point, Aravindhan transforms into a rebel who chooses a violent path to fight against injustice. We even listen to the dialogue from Aravindhan where he says,
போற பாதை எதுன்னு உனக்கு தெரியுமா? தெரியும். மக்களுக்காகவும் மக்கள் உரிமைக்காகவும் போராடின சுபாஷ் சந்திர போஸ் பாதை, பகத்சிங் பாதை, ஏன் தமிழ் வான பாதை.
The list goes on from vigilantes to revolutionaries. It was during the year 1998 I started consuming lots of Hindi movies, and in this process I started getting to know more about the real-life revolutionaries who revolted against the British colonial power. Bose is a real-life hero that I admired as he took a big step as a founder of Indian National Army to revolt against the British. Even in this movie, we get to see a conversation about violence and the non-violence movement.
अहिंसा एक समय में बहुत अच्छा हथियार था, मैं मानता हूं बापू, लेकिन वो समय शांति का था. आज जबकि सारी दुनिया में जंग के नगाड़े बज रहे हैं, तब अहिंसा की बांसुरी कौन सुनेगा बापू?
मुझे दुख है सुभाष, पर ऐसी बातें के कारण ही कांग्रेस ने जो तुम पर बैन लगाया था, मुझे उसका साथ देना पड़ेगा.
क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि विश्व युद्ध का फायदा उठाकर अगर हमने अंग्रेजों को बाहर नहीं धकेला तो ऐसा मौका फिर नहीं आएगा?
How do we deal with injustice? To be ignorant or to be a vigilante? Violence or non-violence? A law-abiding citizen or a revolutionary? It is an eternal debate indeed. If you have watched this far, then I'm sure that you might have liked this video. Thank you for watching this video. The link for the part 2 of this movie recommendation video is available in the description. See you soon in PK Recommends with yet another film watching journey. Till then, this is PK signing off.